Timeline. Your unconscious mind does not make a distinction between a memory of the past and a memory of the future other than chronologically. It must seek to bring into manifestation in your external reality whatever is, it must be, anything in your external reality must stay in conformance to your internal belief system. Okay? In our Attractivation seminars, we actually have a process called STEMS, whereby we systematically uncover your beliefs you don't know you have. And then we deal with those. We have specific ways of taking on characteristics and behaviors and attitudes. It's called a magic circle, where you can actually, through your mirror neurons and your proprioceptive system, you can begin to acquire and install the talents and traits of other people who you admire, while systematically removing all the parts of yourself that aren't the real you. Think of it like Michelangelo chipping away the marble to reveal David, right? It's kind of the same process. Attractivation is a whole silo of techniques designed to systematically remove the bad stuff and help you program your future and become the kind of person you want to be in the process. It's a complete global shift. We'll talk about more about that. But getting back to this whole perceptual thing, beliefs you know, beliefs you don't know. At the beginning of today I mentioned something called perceptual filters. In a book by Paul Ekman, I think it's called Emotions Revealed, he talks about something called the emotional refractory period. Anybody here ever been in a room where, or maybe you've just been in a fight or an argument with somebody, and for the next 20 minutes, even after the argument is over, anything you say tends to set them off again? Has anybody ever experienced that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. What happens is when you experience an emotion, your unconscious mind, first of all, you don't realize you're experiencing the emotion until you're in it. What's happened is your unconscious mind has changed your perception. Emotional states are like living creatures. They seek to keep going. And so your unconscious mind will change your perceptual filters. It will change what you consciously pay attention to, and it will force you to focus on only the things that perpetuate, re-trigger, or reinforce the state you're in. Okay? It's an analog to what we're doing with our timelines. Whatever we create on the inside of the way reality is supposed to be, your unconscious mind will seek to make it match what's out here. This is the power of hypnosis, NLP, and related disciplines, is because we can take the part of your mind that's designed to keep you the same, put it off to the side, send it out for pizza, whatever you want to, whatever metaphor you want to use, and we can go in and we can make changes that once we put that filter back in place, the unconscious mind will seek to make that real and change automatically rather than fight that part. Does that make sense? That's kind of what we're doing. The whole Attractivation silo is about that process on steroids. For lack of a better word, no drugs involved, but you may feel like it. Okay, but it systematically changes you from the inside out. It goes right back to the most fundamental levels of what created your personality and allows you to tailor them to exactly what you want so that you become empowered towards the life and the identity that you want to be. And it gives you the tools to take on or modify as you see fit. It's an extraordinarily powerful process. We have a few people here who survived it and who are using it. You can talk to them about it. So that's kind of what I've taught you tonight are bits and pieces of what we teach in that seminar. I have not taught that seminar. James, when's the last time I taught that seminar?
Well, you just went over it.
I went through the Attractivation silo. I didn't teach the Attractivation seminar.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
Maybe 2 years?
Well, it started 2 years ago, and you did it again.
Yeah. I think I've only taught it one other time.
Yeah, you've done it twice.
Yeah.
As a separate.
Yeah. So basically, where was it? Oh, I didn't finish debriefing everybody. What did you get from the last experience?
Just watching other people, knowing that when they shift, you see it. And
That's the key. Is you don't ask. Well, first of all, there's two things going on there. One, you're watching them shift, so you know something's happened. The second thing is, one of the things you may notice I keep building into every technique is when you know you've got it, when you know it's true, only then end the process. The minute you put that in there, in hypnosis jargon we call it ratification or self-ratification. The minute they verbally or in other ways signal that the process is done, they've proven it to themselves on one level, but the very act of confirming it verbally causes a principle called commitment and consistency to take over. And the unconscious mind will bend over backwards to make it happen. Okay? If you've ever read any of Cialdini's books, you hear about the commitment and consistency principle. If not, pick it up. Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. If you're doing any kind of persuasion work, any kind of marketing, if you haven't read that book, shame on you. Okay?
What was it called?
Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. It's a very simple read, outlines, I think, 6 or 7 macro principles of influence. If you're a copywriter, you already know what scarcity is, right? Social proof. The one that's least utilized is commitment and consistency. But in terms of what we do, that's going to be one of your most powerful ones, especially in terms of hypnosis, because the minute we commit to something and we see if you don't make them verbally confirm, they can wiggle out of it. They can wiggle out. Your unconscious mind will take any break, any loophole in the contract it can to not change, unless you've really, really pressed the emotional hot buttons. Okay? And I'm opening a lot of loops, but hopefully I can close them all relatively quickly. Remember that you're going through the world, projecting out into the world what's going on inside our heads. We're trying to constantly make what's out here match what's in here. Most of us are doing it in a very tiring, exhausting way. We're trying to change everybody else around us, when the fastest, most efficient way to change everything is to change ourselves on the inside. Okay? I could give you all the neuroscience that backs this up. This is not folklore. This is the way it works. Okay? Eve, what'd you get out of this?
It was fantastic. I couldn't even understand why I didn't want to do it to begin with.
Pretty cool, huh?
I love it.
Wait till you do this in trance with somebody. They'll go crazy. In a good way.
I almost went crazy. I loved it. I really loved it.
Ryan, how was this for you?
It was really interesting. When she asked me how much I wanted to at first, like the number that popped in mind was as large as I wanted it to be. And I was like, why isn't it big enough? and so I thought about it, but the moment it was why didn't you rate it less, it's just the light bulb just kicks on.
Yeah.
It's just like the juices start to flow, and it's just like, whoa. And it's like kind of like a duh moment.
Yeah. And we test this protocol was tested on some of the toughest cases out there. Addicts, obsessive compulsives, mismatchers. Tara, what'd you got?
I love all this information. I actually don't know if I had the procrastination one before.
You don't. I haven't taught it.
That was great.
I haven't taught it since 2010.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
First time I taught it, 2 years.
I just think it's awesome that the shift is pretty instant. It makes me want to do the procrastination thing every day when I wake up.
You should. Well, actually, you might want to. See, it slips out. How we talk to ourselves creates our own resistance. There's 2 kinds of resistance. There's what we call psychological reactance and true resistance. They are not the same, although they tend to look the same. Reactance is where, in a physical confrontation, if I were to push you, you want to push back. You want to fight against that push. But resistance doesn't quite work that way. Resistance is that refusal or that pushback whenever we sense an attack to our sense of how we view ourselves, how we think other people will see us, or what we know to be true. Reactance can occur even if we know that what's being put on us is for our own good and it's something we said we wanted to do. The moment we sense it's being forced on us in any way, we push back. That's reactance. It's not resistance. But they tend to wear the same clothing. But the forces of it are important. Once you understand that, you can start building those things into your presentations, into your sales copy and stuff like that. Some good copywriters do that. They talk about imagine how you'll feel about yourself once you have this product or you've done this program. Imagine how other people will think about you. Right? And I know this sounds like BS, but it goes back to the truth part, right? We instinctively resist what we think of, we instinctively resist anything that changes how we see ourselves, how we think other people will see us, or what we know to be true. If when I'm born into the world and I'm told this is a brick, and my first experience of this object is linked to the term brick. I go into kindergarten and we start talking about bricks and pens and the things, and the teacher goes, "What's this?" And I go, "It's a brick." The teacher goes, "No, it's a pen." I will go, "No, it's a brick." And I will fight to make this a brick. Because that's what was there first. That's what I know to be true. Think about that. A lot of good stuff in there. Okay? All right, so here's the deal. How many people here know that I have a mentoring program that I run? Raise your hand if you know that. Okay. We started that the first time we did it. Again, I don't really start classes to, how can I say this? I never started any of these meetups as a business. I know that sounds weird. I started these meetups because I like to do cool stuff. Anybody like to do cool stuff? And I like to hang out with cool people who like to do the same cool stuff I like to do. You guys like to do cool stuff? All right, I think I'm in the right place. But there was nobody doing my stuff, the stuff I wanted to do. So I created a meetup and see who would come. That was back in 2009. Matter of fact, Ryan was one of the first people. James was like the first one to come. Second one, I think.
Something like that.
And after a while, people just said, "Well, how can I learn more? How can I learn more? How can I learn more?" And I was like, "Oh boy, I've been this route before." For those of you who don't know, in 2004, 2005, I was the head of an organization called Sleepwalkers International. We were the world's largest self-help NLP and hypnosis practice group. We had chapters in 11 countries and like 30 states. And we did amazing things. It was completely free. It was all about people getting together to get better at what they do. And it was a great idea. But when I left that organization, I was pretty burnt out. I didn't want to go that way again. Turns out the universe wasn't quite done with me. So after a couple of months of doing these meetups, people started asking me once again, "How can we learn more? How can we learn more? How can we learn more?" I said, "Look, I don't want to certify people. That's a whole other ball of wax. Because most of the people who I see who come out of certifications can't actually do what they're certified in. They just can't." So I started focusing on giving people skills. And I said, "All right, here's what we're going to do." I said, "We'll get together once a month. This is how much it'll cost. And we'll drill you. You come in. I'll ask you what you want to learn. I'll ask you what you want to learn. I'll ask you what you want to learn. I'll find the connecting threads. We'll create that syllabus or that curriculum right there on the spot. And for the next 4 hours, we're going to drill you on those skills so that by the time you leave, you own those skills, you can go out and you're either A, programmed already to get what you want, or you have the skill sets to go and actually do what you said you wanted to do. We called that our NLP Power Mastermind program. I started at a whopping $97 a month. It didn't stay that way because it exploded into like 20 people in the next 2 months. Do you remember that somewhat? Or you came a little later?
Yeah, but I've heard about it.
Oh, okay.
Some other people in the group.
Right now, if you wanted to get into that program, it's $247 a month. Third Saturday of every month, we come in here for 4 hours, and we just drill you. If you want to learn hypnosis techniques, we'll teach you hypnosis techniques, but usually it's more applied. In other words, you want to write better copy? I'll show you how to use this stuff to write better copy. You want to work more energetics? I'll show you how to use this stuff for energetics. You want to get better at finding your ideal guy? I'll show you how to do that. A lot of cool stuff for that, by the way. Works for both genders. I'll show whatever it is you want to do, I'll show you how to get better at it faster. That's what we do. So Right now, it's at $247 a month. We do it like a subscription. What that means is, I send you a link, you sign up, you come as often as you want. When you're done, hit the cancel button. That's all. However, since we started that back in 2009, we've graduated some people who've already gone on into public speaking. They're doing their own trainings now, as a matter of fact. Shut up. All right. And this December is actually going to be, this January is going to be our 4th year anniversary. So I'd like to give you guys a gift, if you want. If any of you would like to experience our mastermind, I'm going to slash this, and I'm going to give you the original rate of $97 a month for as long as you want it. Once a month, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., we get together, we go around, we find out what you want, 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 what you want. We find out how they all converge. I'll create that syllabus, that learning plan, that lesson plan right on the spot for you. And for 4 hours every month, I will personally drill you on those skill sets until you own them. You will work, and you will have fun. You will have a lot of fun, but you will work. Okay? This is not a mentoring program in which I have a set curriculum. It's a mastermind program in which I have the tool sets, I have the information, you have the outcome, I show you how to get it. So you determine on a monthly basis what you want, what you're going to get, and you're going to own it by the time you leave. That's my promise to you. Yes?
How many people are in the group at the time? And do people come and go through that?
Oh, yeah.
From 11 to 4?
No, well, people come in they're there for the full duration from 11 to 4. And it's usually done, most people stay for quite a while, but then they get what they want, they feel they've moved on, and that's fine. You know, James has been with me since the beginning. You're going on, what, 4 years now?
Something like that.
Yeah. Tara just started. She's
Started in like 6-7 months.
6 or 7 months, right? Well, compared to James, you've just started. Because it's not, I mean, I have I have the Mastermind mentorship, which is kind of my baby. I have certification tracks, like this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm doing a 3-day certification in conversational hypnosis. If anybody's interested in that, let me know. We do have a couple of slots, but week after that, I have 10 or 11 lawyers coming in for a very specialized training in what they're doing, right? And then starting the first of the year, we'll be doing a covert hypnosis certification and another hypnotherapy certification, but those are different tracks. The Mastermind is not a certification track. It's a skill building track, okay? I'm going to teach you what you want and need to know as you need to know it. That's what makes it very different. It's self-directed. There is no set curriculum. Does that make sense? Okay. For those of you who want to get involved, just write on the back of your sheet before you hand it in, Mastermind, yes, and make sure I have your email address, and I'll send you a link for that. For those of you who want to get involved, what I'd like to do is I'd like to give you a little gift. It's actually not quite little. I haven't taught the Attractivation process in over 2 years, soup to nuts. I'll do a 1-day seminar. For you. You'll also get 50% discount on all of my certification courses. It's across the board Mastermind discount. If you're one of my ongoing students, 50% off every training I do for the next 12 months. Okay, if you're a paid member. In good standing, which means I like you. Now, be honest. If it's something that resonates with you, if it's something that fits in your framework, go for it. If it's not, it's okay. You know, I'm going to raise the price probably tomorrow, back to what it normally is. And it's worth it even at that because it's about your life, isn't it? It's about getting what you want. So let me ask you this. I love this part. On a scale of 0 to 10, Why might you want to do this?
You just work.
I know, I'm playing with you.
Okay.
Yes. Hmm.
We have to start signing up in January in order to get to 97.
No, because we haven't done this month's mastermind yet. So if you signed up tonight, you could start today.
Somebody like me who's out of town the entire
Oh, I'm glad you asked. You see that video camera?
Out of town twice, two
Eve,
weekends in February.
listen to me. Listen to me.
Yes,
Pay
I'm
attention.
listening.
You see that video camera?
Oui.
Every mastermind session is videotaped and edited
Okay.
and stored in a membership site.
So I can watch it in my living room, like if I want with you. It's not the
Yep.
same.
I know that, but it's better than not being here at all.
Be tailored to my needs. Like,
Or you can do you can come in on a session by session basis, but then it would be full price.
I'm counting. I'm not there in January. And I'm leaving town May, June, July.
Anyway, for those of you who are interested, and I don't do big fancy sales pitches. If this is something that you're interested in, you know it. If it's not, that's cool. Just come back to the meetups every month. We do cool stuff. But if you want if you want the full soup to nuts, get the life you want the way you want it.
So give me an example of like somebody that came in and they had something in mind and the things that you would be able to accomplish within, a session.
I had a gentleman, 59 years old. Wife left him for another woman. Took him to the cleaners. No self-esteem.
Yeah.
Had no prospects. People at work were treating him like shit. Shit again, technical term. And in a few sessions, his whole life turned around. People started being nicer to him, and all he did was change himself. We had James, why don't you tell these people what you've experienced? Probably the best thing to do is talk to the people who've actually been in the mastermind.
Well, for me, it's a little bit different because I came in with a lot more experience than most people. But from what I've seen in people who just started out, I mean, they've gotten incredible skills. They really helped themselves in their lives. This person that Dave was talking about, he was on antidepressants, things like that. They put him on antidepressants.
That's right.
Those, which is a big deal because those aren't good for you. They're just not good for you. And so, he's turned his life around. His attitude is different. Things that would really stress him out, things that would bother him, that really affected his health, are no longer doing that. And that goes to being able to maintain your attitude, to maintain your control over how you react to things, as opposed to letting things dictate how you act. We've had other people, who've done much better in school, much better than,
We had a gentleman, Jamin.
Yeah.
Jamin came to us. He was diagnosed as, he had mentally, what was the term?
That I don't know. I didn't
He was, anyway, bottom line is he came to us, he came from a substance abuse background. He was diagnosed with a mental disorder. He started coming to our masterminds. Within as a matter of fact, the first mastermind he came to us, we were doing interview techniques, how to get any job you want, even if you don't qualify for it. And he came. It was a free meetup. He had 2 job interviews the next day. He took our class. The next day, he went out and nailed both interviews. They both offered him the job. Okay. He took the skills we gave him, and he actually got it. He's a very compassionate guy. He got a job working with people who had the same kind of diagnosis and kind of problems that he had, and he'd been diagnosed and been treated rather improperly, actually. He did a lot of self-work using the techniques. A lot of the techniques that you learned tonight, we used with Jamin. You met Jamin, haven't you? Tall kid, talks about energy a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, you know Jamin.
Yeah.
Okay, Jamin is one of our shining success stories. This guy has. They not only hired him, the mental health facility not only hired him, they asked him to be the spokesman. He goes out lecturing. Up until recently, he went out lecturing to other groups, trying as an advocate for their processes. Who else? Jason Parker. What's Jason? West. Jason West. He came in. He came out of his NLP certifications. He came out of his trainer's training, and the words out of his mouth were, "I felt like I didn't know anything. Like everybody knew more than me." After 6 months in our mastermind, He's successfully running his own training. Matter of fact, he hangs out at your mastermind now, doesn't he? He comes out.
Yeah, he's got his own company now.
Yeah.
And a group and all
Right.
that stuff.
Right? You've come to 1 or 2 masterminds, but you came mostly to the meetups, right?
Yeah.
What's
One
this?
of the seminars.
You came to CPI, the conversational hypnosis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, for me, I love reading. I'm a voracious learner, and when you have a lot of ideas swimming around in your head, it's not always easy to apply it. And what the course really gave me is a lot of certainty of the exact basics that I need to know, so I can build a foundation to place all the other things that I know. It was really helpful. So
Cool. And that's actually, Ryan hits on a very cool point. You go to an NLP certification. In NLP, they have this thing called language patterns. You guys may have heard that term before. They teach you 31 different language patterns depending on the school of NLP you go to, but they don't tell you which ones to use when. They don't give you a plan to follow. They don't give you a structure that you can apply cross-contextually. We do that. And that's just part of it. We teach you, do this, now do this, now do this. We teach you things beyond just the basic scope of NLP. We teach you how the human nervous system actually works so that you can actually make use of it on multiple different levels in a lot of different contexts. It's hard for me, when I'm talking about the mastermind, it's hard for me to get really, really specific because it's self-directed. If I'm talking about CPI, which is my conversational hypnosis course, or real-world hypnosis, which is my hypnotherapy course, I can get real specific on the benefits. My job is to get you what you want by your standards and definitions, not mine. So I'm not happy until you're happy. Okay? Tara, what about you?
So, I love helping people. That's my mission in life. So while you're learning to help people, you get to actually do that work for yourself. And it is, I've traveled different places in the world, training with different indigenous cultures, Nepal, Tibet, South Africa, Egypt, Ireland, Mexico, all those places. And I do know that when you actually put yourself into an experience, get outside of your comfort zone, that's where you actually do the transforming. That's where you do all the shifting. Because you're in that space, you're taking the time, especially, when you're investing that on whatever level, then you're going to put that effort in, make this huge, powerful shift. So it's something that keeps you on track. I'll come in and I want to learn techniques, like I said, to help more people, but it's also things that I want that we work on too. He'll combine all of that for us, and he really does go around just like we did at the beginning. What do you want to get out of this? What are you looking for? And we do actually have fun. We go to eat together. It's, we know each other. It's a lot of fun to do all this work, and we learn like different applications for that spin technique, and you can expand upon anything that you want to know. He really does lead you down the road that you want to head on, and it keeps you on track with that too. So I think it's fantastic.
Thank you. I'll slip you your money later. Anyway, first of all, I want to thank my people who've come out over and over again. And even more so, I want to thank all of you new people for coming out, rolling up your sleeves, having a great attitude, doing the drills, and getting the skills. Because you own it. You did the work. Now go out and make your life everything you want it to be. By your standards, by your definitions, not mine. I'm just here to help. If you're interested in the mastermind, talk to me, hand in your sheets, and I will try to have this edited and get the video up and available as quickly as I can. Thank you.
Thank you.